What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for helping this channel to grow. We got a whole bunch of new subscribers here on the channel. Thank you so much for showing your support for the content. I thank you greatly. With that being said, if you are not subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you would do so. It helps the channel to grow. Comment in the comments section below, smash that like button, hit the bell to receive notifications. And if you want to help to support the channel financially, I have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001. The link is always in the description box of every video and short that I upload here on YouTube. I currently have 190 items listed for sale, in particular, mostly sports cards of all different types. Forgive me, my eBay customers, I was supposed to list a bunch more cards yesterday, but I got caught up because one of my really close and dear friends showed up yesterday along with one of my neighbors, and we were outside on my patio. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. But I tried to actually go to sleep last night. As you know, I do suffer from chronic insomnia, and finally I started to go to sleep naturally, and all of a sudden we had this awful lightning storm, and it's now approximately 4:15. So I figured, let me put all that energy to good use. And I was supposed to list a whole bunch of new cards over at my eBay stores page. And, you know, I was just like, oh, it's such a nice day. I really don't feel like sitting at my desk. You know, when you have beautiful days like we had yesterday, prior to this lightning and rain we're having right now, I had to take full advantage of it because I really needed to deflate. So, but with that being said, I will get some new sports cards listed over at my eBay store. Again, you know, if you want to help to support the channel financially, that's how you can do it. And all of you that have done so already, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, we really need to talk about this. If you saw the thumbnail and the title of this video, you already know where it's going to go. I grew up in New York City. I've been living here in North Carolina for the past 8 years, and my allegiance is split between the Mets and the Yankees. This Subway Series really revealed something about a particular player who last year had all of this flair. He was exciting to watch, had a great bat, and now he's playing for another New York team, and he's dragging his ass. We are talking about Juan Soto. This is my green shimmer out of 99 from Bowman 2018. And I mean, for you guys that are into value, I only paid a couple $100 for this. As a matter of fact, it still has all the eBay stuff on the back. This card now is going for over $2,000. I would comp this anywhere between $2,000 and $2,200. I didn't pay anywhere near that at the time. I only paid a couple $100 for this. I forgot exactly how much. It was definitely way under $1,000 that I paid for this thing. But the value of this thing skyrocketed because, you know, of his performances with the Yankees. They made it to the World Series, and now he got this multi-million-dollar contract with the Mets. And when you watch the Mets play in this Subway Series, he has his head up his ass. What is going on with this guy? Is he suffering from depression? You know, is something going on in his personal life? Is he not happy or pleased playing with the Mets? I know the Mets, unfortunately, have that reputation of, you know, being the bad news bears, so to speak. You know, I mean, right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates are currently like the New York Mets of old, you know, where they're at the bottom of the barrel, unfortunately. And I hope that the Yankees get Paul Skeens, by the way. That's going around the rumor mill. We'll talk about that hopefully next time. But, you know, the Mets always had this reputation of just being, you know, the bottom of the barrel of Major League Baseball. But they've made strides over the past few seasons, you know, with Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor and Brett Beatty and, you know, Francisco Alvarez and all those guys, man. They've really built this team up to be something else, and they've been performing quite well, surprisingly, you know. And then they signed Juan Soto for this gigantic multi-million-dollar contract for over a decade. I mean, this is one of the problems of Major League Baseball. When you sign big ticket guys like this and they're not performing, the fans are going to get angry. And they are, because every time Juan Soto stepped up to the plate during this most recent Subway Series, all the Yankees fans heckled him to death. And he kind of like nonchalantly took off his helmet and blah, blah, blah. That's what you get for chasing money. Yeah, these guys, they are athletes. The money is too tempting to resist. But he's not performing like he should. If you watch this recent Subway Series, he was dragging his ass. Does he have rocks in his shoes? Is he suffering from hemorrhoids? Maybe he's got a bad case of jock itch. I don't know. Maybe he's going through depression. But he didn't look like he was interested at all. If you watched him with the Yankees last year, he was excited. He was jumping up and down, fielding balls left and right. His bat was just amazing. But this year with Soto, he's still got a good bat. But when you watch him run, he was barely moving. Does he have arthritis in his feet? Maybe he's got like what I got. Maybe he's got neuropathy or something like that. Maybe he's got high blood sugar. Chasing after fielded balls, he looks like he's not interested. What is going on with this guy? And we're all asking ourselves, was it worth it for the Mets to pay, what was it, $750 million over, 15 years, I think it was? You guys can correct me in the comments section exactly, the details of his contract, but when you get paid multi-million-dollar contracts like that, you're expected to perform. And he's got this nonchalant thing this season where he'll take a whack at a ball and then he'll just like nothing. I understand a lot of guys. When you're a power hitter, of course Juan Soto, he does have a good bat, but in certain situations, you want to put that hustle on. That's the biggest word that I've seen floating around here on YouTube from my fellow content creators, and including, sports media. Hustle. You want to see these guys run. You want to see them perform. That's what they're getting paid for. Excuse me, but a lot of power hitters, when they hit, long distance balls into, center field or right or left, sometimes they will stand at the plate and see if the ball's a home run. And then, they'll circle the base. But, it's not just the fact that, Soto, has a tendency of having a good bat. Even if he hits a batted ball through, center field or something like that and gets a base hit, he just kind of like nonchalantly runs to first base. If there's a fielded ball heading out to him, he's kind of like, and it's not exciting. It's not interesting. It's like, why even bother? You could probably put a prospect out there, and probably get more excitement out of him because he has more to prove. Meanwhile, this guy, maybe that's his problem. He's got too many nickels and dimes in his pants, weighing him down. I really don't understand it. I've watched plenty of commentary about Juan and what's going on with him. There's a lot of theories going around, but he's really getting roasted because he just doesn't look like he cares. If I was getting paid multi-millions of dollars, I probably wouldn't care either. Hey, listen, man, if I was playing German soccer, for example, I'd probably be paid to be a bench warmer. Why not? I'm being paid to do nothing. And that's the impression he's starting to leave on a lot of fans' minds, is that, he's rolling in the dough. He's like Scrooge McDuck doing the backstroke in his money pool. And he's not really doing anything. He's not doing anything exciting. That panache that he had last season with the Yankees when they made it, even though they lost the World Series to the Dodgers, he was an exciting player to watch, man. It was great. It was amazing. But now, I understand New York fans can be rowdy. They can be shrew. They can be vicious, especially during live games. And like I said, he nonchalantly would take off his helmet and whatnot because, the Yankees fans booed him like crazy. But he doesn't show, he's not showing anything. He's not, it's like watching ice melt this season. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening with him. And I wish, if he's going through some personal issues behind the scenes, it'd be nice at because the fans will support, anyone that's going through a hard time. Unless you did something idiotic or dumb or illegal. Fans are pretty sympathetic to things. Then again, even Bayern Munich doesn't pay my rent. Yeah, I buy their jerseys. This is the 125th anniversary jersey, from Bayern Munich that I had customized. But, us as fans, we pay good money for their hats, their jerseys, again, for their sports cards. Like I said, this is a pretty heavy hitting card because of, his contract and his reputation and his performances. But now those performances are starting to leave a lot to be desired. And as a result, if you're somebody like me that's holding a high end card of his, if you care about value, man, it's gonna dip. As a matter of fact, speaking of the Yankees, look at Spencer Jones, for example. He was performing quite well and he was considered untouchable, but now with his, injury situation and the fact that his stats have also started to drop, the Yankees are going to have to start making a decision with him very soon, whether they're going to, trade him off to someone else or are they going to keep him? Who knows? But it just seems like the more money you pay these guys, the less they tend to give a damn as far as, really putting any effort into it. There's like that arrogant assumption that, yeah, I am who I am. I have a name, therefore, I'll play, a certain way. But, we, the fans, are essentially paying for you. Why do you think Major League Baseball has put advertising on their jerseys and their helmets? Here's an example of it, Allianz. The Bundesliga has been doing that for a long time. There you go, Deutsche Telekom, or T-Mobile as it's known as here in the States. All that revenue, goes to the players, it goes to, the lower employees, the groundskeepers, all that kind of stuff. That money gets distributed, throughout the team and keeping the thing going, you know what I mean? And the fans, through ticket sales, advertising, sponsors and all that kind of stuff, he's rolling in the dough. And if he can't perform, why the hell should we keep paying for these guys? Why should we keep paying these high exorbitant ticket prices? Why should we pay? Some of my jerseys I got, like my limited player jerseys from the New York Yankees. They're what, $100, $200 something dollars, whatever they are. The elite Anthony Volpe jersey that I reviewed right here on the channel, that's over $400, that jersey. You know what I mean? And if the Yankees don't perform, it sucks for me because, I'm helping to pay these guys revenue just like you are through ticket sales, hats, jerseys, t-shirts, etc. We want to watch these guys perform. And of course, ultimately, we want to see the teams that we love. We want to see them win. Just like with Bayern Munich. Yeah, even though Vincent Kompany had his, first season as manager with Bayern Munich, at least Harry Kane got his first trophy. And at least they got the Bundesliga, which guarantees them a spot in the Champions League next year. And then they're playing the World Club Cup right here in the States, which is amazing. Ticket prices are too much. I want to go see them. But the point being is that, again, it's the fans that mostly are funding this stuff through hats and merchandise. And when you're watching a player just mope-a-dope, running the baseline, it sucks. And it gets frustrating because it's like, why even bother having a guy like this? If he cares more about the money, you got to get rid of him. Does he miss the Yankees? Is that what it is? I just don't get it, I really don't know. I don't understand. Only Juan Soto knows what Juan Soto thinks. But as a fan, it's frustrating to watch. And, his performances are starting to take a nosedive. He's not exciting like he once was last year. And, for anybody that invests, into his sports cards, again, like this one, if you're concerned about value, I won't be surprised if he keeps going like this, that you're going to start seeing more and more of his high-end cards being sold on eBay. People are going to dump his cards. Mike Trout is such an example. He's been hurt so much that right now there's a lot of fear, in the sports card hobby. I just sold off one of my high-end Mike Trouts recently, the Mitchell and Ness out of 25 orange, And I expected the price not to be that high because, well, with injuries and everything else, you kind of expect him to get hurt, and it really hurts his value, so to speak. It's frustrating. But let's see what happens with him. I just thought I'd talk about this because, my God, he looks like, I don't know if he's got arthritis in his knees. I hate to be facetious, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe one or two of you have an answer for this, but only Juan Soto knows Juan Soto and what's in Juan Soto's head. So it's just very, very frustrating to watch these guys, especially, if you're investing in high-end sports cards and you have merchandise and jerseys and hats of his, it's a shame. I'm a big Bayern Munich fan. Of course, I mostly wear, striker jerseys. Like, that's the customized Harry Kane jersey that I showed off here on the channel. Because he's one of their big-time players and he performs. He actually got the Torschütze, which is the Cannon Trophy for the top scorer for the season. And he's got his very first career trophy with Bayern. So you want to see him perform. It's exciting. It makes me want to buy his stuff. And all that revenue, of course, goes into the team and into his paycheck. I want the same for Juan Soto and any other baseball player that's out there or any other sport that I follow. Look at what the Giants did, with this latest draft and all the trades and stuff like that, getting Dart and everybody else. I want to see these guys perform. I bought 3 Daniel Jones jerseys. Look what happened with that. You know what I mean? But I don't want to throw them away because I paid a ton of money for those jerseys, so I'm stuck with them, unfortunately. I probably couldn't sell them if my life depended on it. So, and that's the sad part of the whole thing. You support these guys, you support these teams, and when they're not up to snuff, it's aggravating. Look at right now, as a matter of fact, who's having a resurgence. Surprisingly, is Corbin Carroll. I just sold off a whole bunch of Corbin Carroll cards. I kept 2 of them. I have a red out of 5 from the Mitchell & Ness 2023 set, and I kept the Cosmic Auto that I reviewed here on the channel. That was the replacement for a damaged Corbin Carroll orange out of 25 from that Mitchell & Ness set. So now seeing that Corbin Carroll, I think at the time of this video, he's got 15 home runs this season, excuse me. So he's having a bit of a comeback. He's changed his batting stance and all of that, and he's starting to perform a little bit better. We're starting to see results from him now. That's good. Because last year, man, and I think everybody panic sold, but, I'm really not collecting Corbin Carroll at this time, and that's why I sold off those cards. It wasn't just because of his performances, it's just he's a hobbyist. Some cards I'll look at. I'm like, let me see if somebody else can enjoy these so that, I'll take the revenue in after bills and all that stuff. I'll put it right back into the hobby and what have you. As a matter of fact, I did just that. And thanks to all of you for supporting my eBay store, I was able to buy 100 more of these Armalopes, as a matter of fact. So, thank you for that. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like, geez, man. Let's see what happens with Juan. We're still in the thralls of the All-Star break. It's still early in the season yet. Let's see what happens. I would start panicking after the All-Star break and see where the Mets go and see where he goes. But for right now, it just doesn't look promising. He looks miserable. So, did he maybe what's going through his mind is, did he make a mistake going to the Yankees? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, that's my hot take on Juan Soto. Hopefully he turns himself around. I mean, if guys like Corbin Carroll can turn themselves around, so can Juan Soto. But the difference between Corbin Carroll and Juan Soto is that this guy is making multi millions of dollars. And now he's, I guess, a franchise player for the Mets. But without performances and without any kind of swagger or anything like that, the fans are going to lose interest. The Yankees fans hate him because he left, and he went to go chase, the almighty dollar. And now we're seeing the results of that. So anyway, that's my hot take on Juan Soto. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, hit the bell to receive notifications, and of course, subscribe. Don't forget, check out my eBay store. I will try to list some more cards. Again, I have over 100, I think I have 190 listings at the time of this video. So head on over there, go check it out. The link is always in the description of every video on short that I upload here on YouTube. Again, thank you to my friends, my family, my neighbors, everyone, eBay customers. You're all amazing human beings. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Take care, God bless, stay safe, and I will see you all very soon.